Hey guys, T-Bull here. Today I got to look at the Warspite. It's the new Tier 5 British premium battleship, World of Warships Legends. It's pretty comparable in terms of stats and ship layout and stuff to the Queen Elizabeth, which is a ship I really enjoy. I'll kind of break down the key differences between the two later on. There's a little bit of a lull that we'll have a chance to take a look at those. But you can see here, if you watch that Queen Elizabeth replay I had up, maybe probably within the last week or so, this game I ended up playing it fairly similarly, just kind of locking down the side. That's Omaha, I don't know what he's doing. He's a light cruiser. He thinks he's got a pretty decent set of armor on his ship's nose there, but I politely inform him that that's not the case. So rack up a cool 19k on him. Almost 20,000 on that salvo. I've talked a lot about the British AP ammo playing in battleships, and if you haven't seen those videos, in general I'm not trying to hit waterline citadels and those. I'm aiming more up toward the top of the side of the ship. That's gonna, due to the dispersion, you're gonna have a mixture of shots that hit the superstructure and then the less armored upper belt armor. So even though you're not gonna be getting a lot of citadels shooting that way, you're still gonna be getting some pretty nice damage. You'll see some of these salvos here. There'll be no citadel popping up, but you'll still be getting, you know, what was that? That was a 17k it looked like. So that's comparable to the damage output you're gonna get with a citadel shot anyways. Now that's due to these guns that are the highest caliber battleship guns in Tier 5. And due to the shorter fuses, I mean, they're not going to overpen when you're hitting like the superstructure and stuff like that, so you can actually do quite a bit of damage hitting higher up in the ship. You'll probably notice as this match goes on, I get a little frustrated and get a little trigger happy with the radio, but looking at the map now, I mean, I can't really complain about how the team's situated. And, you know, as the match goes on, they kind of congregate all to the southwest side now. You know, if you get frustrated, it's a lot of times that's just you not paying attention to the map, and, you know, I'm more focused on the action in front of me here, but looking at the map now, I can see that my team's actually engaged and doing what they should be doing. Now, do they all, you know, once they clear out the rest of this, you know, their side, then I look at the map later and I see, oh, it just looks like there's a bunch of guys just sitting there, you know, and so that can get annoying. But like I say, a lot of the times that's just due to you not paying as close attention to the actual flow of the match as you need to be doing. So I don't know, just something to think about. I mean, there are times where, you know, your team can get out of position when they don't really need to, and that does get frustrating, but there's just nothing you can do about how your team's playing. And anyways, if you're playing well, like in terms of your armoring and stuff like that, that's just, you know, a lot of my high damage games, at least personally, come from, you know, situations where, you know, most of the teams on the other side of the map. I do have this battleship over here he's actually dueling with this Queen Elizabeth. So that's keeping that ship distracted. I'm intermittently getting spotted by that plane that's circling over there, but, you know, at times I'm able to fire on that ship without any return fire coming in. Due to the fact that the ship's angled pretty well against me, I don't know if they're intentionally doing that, or more likely they're just trying to keep all their guns available to shoot at the whatever that battleship is on my team to my southwest. You can see we do have the other Queen Elizabeth continuing sailing around the island. And finally, that battleship that was unspotted in the north finally appears on the map here. It's an Iron Duke. Now this guy, keep an eye on how he's playing. Well, first off there, you'll see I didn't have that target locked, the circle around his ship's icon. You can see how bad the dispersion is there. I've talked about that a couple times recently. That's just another example. You always want to have the target selected before you fire a shot, otherwise it's going to be a much less accurate salvo. But getting back to what I was saying, he does a really good job of kind of fiddling around with his throttle and making it very hard to hit him. You can keep an eye on his smokestack there. You know, he's accelerating, he's slamming it in the reverse. He's easing off. You know, he's altering his speed consistently, which makes it hard to pinpoint, you know, the deadly shots that you're trying to fire on him. So he's doing a good job there. There might be a little bit of disrespect involved just because I'm a tier 5 ship and he's a tier 4, which you never want to make that mistake. I don't feel like the differences in tiers are massive in this game. You know, you can do well against higher tier ships and you can do poorly against lower tier ships. And you can see there he does quite a bit of damage against me there. So nice shot there. He definitely won that exchange. And, you know, I'm getting frustrated. I was looking around my cruiser thinking maybe I need to take him out, try and make something happen. But by the time I turned my ship around, this guy would have been able to pop me again, and he's proven to me, based on how he's moving how he's fiddling with his throttle and how he's shooting, that he's a good player. So luckily I'm able to pop him there with a couple citadels, and as long as he doesn't get really lucky or I don't make a mistake, I should be able to finish him off. And again, you'll see the smokestack, the smoke coming out of the stack, starting, stopping. You know, right now he's probably at about quarter speed, half speed. You know, maybe slamming it in reverse briefly there just to try and throw me off the scent. So that's good example of play on his part, so keep that in mind. It's especially the longer the distance you are, the more you're fiddling with the throttle, the harder it is for the enemy to land good quality shots on you. So now this Queen Elizabeth, I don't know if this ship was fighting someone else in my team or maybe he was just taking his time getting over here. But it's a little too late. This ship needed to get up here and assist that Iron Duke. 2-on-1, I would have had a really hard time. Even though they would have been firing from the same angle roughly. But they could have done something about that. And you can see here where actually pop him. That looked like a deck level citadel, so you know, you can get those mega shots shooting from the, you know, up higher on the ship like that. Alright, so I'm looking at the score. I'm trying to get 150 here just for the heck of it. I'm going to try and catch up to this guy. Just to run down the differences between the Warspite and the Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth has about 100 or 1,500 more HP. Slight advantage when it comes to gun range, about 0.2 kilometer. Significant difference in HE damage. The Queen Elizabeth has about 1,000 base damage on the HE shells and a 1% extra chance to start a fire. I can't remember if I mentioned it earlier or not, but I don't ever run HE shells on either of these ships. Tiers 6 I definitely do, but tiers 3 through 5 I don't with the British. Or I shouldn't say I don't ever, but rarely do I. So I don't personally notice that difference, but if you run HE shells on your tier 5 British battleships, you might. And then the main one you'll notice, just in terms of how the ships feel, is the Warspite's turret traverse is about 10 seconds shorter, so it's... I tend to try and keep the guns on my British battleships pointing on the same side, if at all possible, throughout the match, but if you do have to change, you'll definitely notice the difference there. And I tried to catch up to that last target, but someone else popped him on my team, so... Hope you enjoyed that look at the Warspite. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. There's plenty more World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. And we'll see y'all later. Alright, peace.